Some developers must have hired people who have kids who just hit puberty and kept digging through the house looking for porn. So they got tired of it and made the whole porn industry. Seriously, this is one of the only ways games like Rumble Roses, Strip Fighter, and Sexy Beach get made. Anyway, on to the review! Released in 2004, Rumble Roses is an all-female wrestling game done by Konami. The plot involves wrestlers getting invited to a tournament called the Rumble Rose. What they don't know is that the evil nurse-looking lady Anastasia is looking to use elements of them to create the ultimate wrestling robot weapon. I am not making this up. And yes, I know the plot is thinner than a bra strap, so just go with it. It's no worse than any other girl fight anime. The graphics are pretty good. 22 playable characters are in the game, but you can only play with the babyface or the heel version for about 10 of them. You have to go into exhibition mode and do matches to turn them into their alternative form. So in essence, there's only 12. The models themselves are done fairly well. Say what you will about the half-naked women, but they do have lots of detail in their outfits. The animations are also well done. Move sets are cool, and you don't really see a lot of them in wrestling now. I only have two issues. One, the first is the faces. All the faces look very mannequin and just show no kind of emotion or anything. This makes the game look more like you're playing with Barbie dolls than wrestlers. Second, the other is that all the characters are designed like really bad fast girl stereotypes. You got the nice schoolgirl, the teacher, the cowgirl, the main event hero chick, and so on. The audio is laughably bad. Seriously, if you were to listen to the game outside of the room it was being played in, you would think they were watching porn.
Hey there, Aisha.
Dixie?
What you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing here, fool? I canceled my tour just so I could come kick your ass.
Still bitter? Well, sorry there, gal, but you're not the one I came to fight.
Then who?
Reiko, a little samurai come all the way over from Japan.
Hey, don't walk away while I'm talking to you. Ooh, Lon Wayne is going down.
All the moans and groans sound more like it's a big lesbian sex session than a wrestling match. To add to it, the voice acting is absolutely terrible. Just give it a listen. You already have a bad enough plot. Why not lower yourselves to the level of girl fight anime with such cheesy voice acting as well? There's not a single line of dialogue that gives you any reason to care about any of these characters and not to just sit there and go, fuck it, they're half naked, who cares? Not that it did in the first place amount to any more than a girl fight anime. To top it all off, the music could have been good. You have decent orchestral stuff like the Ninja Chicks theme, but they made some really bad choices, such as remixing Yankee Rose by Ronnie James Dio, and there are just some really just awful music in the game itself. The gameplay is okay at best. It was released around the same time as SmackDown vs. Raw, and it's definitely close to it. Now, hear me out. I went into SmackDown vs. Raw after playing the classic SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. I was expecting a lot out of it, and it ended up disappointing me. Rumble Roses, I was expecting it to be trash, and it turned out better than I thought. This doesn't mean it doesn't have problems, but I will mention that the game does handle decent enough. It uses a similar engine to the Yuke's SmackDown engine, and it plays quite decently. Every character has a decent move pool and 3 finishers. The problem is it's handled like a girl fight anime. I know I keep mentioning this term, but it's true. You watch more than you play with different camera angles. Not to mention the game is always finding a way to point the camera at the girl's ass or boobs or crotch. This gets tiring after the first 2 matches where you go, I get it, she has a nice ass or she has nice boobs. The other problem is that I have this amount of content. You can finish the game in a weekend, and there's not much replay value after that. This is due to the fact there are only two match types, regular and mud wrestling match, and they basically play the same. There's only, besides that, there's only a gallery mode where you can feel like a creepy stalker and stare at the girls while they stretch and all that other stuff. The story mode also has problems. Every character you finish unlocks their alternative form. The problem is, when you unlock their alternative form, it takes away all the plot development that the original form had. I know the voice acting is bad and the plot is worse, but it makes the game seem even more half-assed than it already is. Overall, this is a girl fight anime in video game form. There's a decent wrestling engine in the game, but it's buried in so much fan service that it will get old after a while. You can pick it up for around $5, but if you want something more, I would go pick up Fire Pro Wrestling. That game is very underrated and should be had by most fans. As for Rumble Roses, if you go into it expecting just a girl fight kind of anime in video game form, then it'll meet your expectations. Just don't expect any more than that.